What's going on?
It's getting good. So.
What's going on, guys? My name is NFT Flenny, and I am here with my girlfriend. We're still trying to find a YouTube name for her. So for now,
It's NFT Funny.
yep, she's NFT Flenny's girlfriend.
I'm NFT Funny and you're the boyfriend.
I'm the boyfriend. Okay, yep. So we have a very special video today. It's the first time that we are a duo on camera, and we are also going to be reviewing the Marvel New York Comic-Con 2022 con exclusives, all the drops. And a couple have already dropped and a couple haven't. So we're just going to go through all of them, and we're going to give our thoughts, our opinions, if we're going to buy it on the drop, if we're going to buy it on the market or not, and just what we think is good, bad, potential about all these collectibles. So you have any words before we get started?
No.
No words. Okay. So here we go. The first drop from this year's Comic-Con in New York was the Welcome to New York poster. This is ultra rare, list price of 60 gems with 2,900 editions. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, so I did not go for this on the drop, and I will not be buying it in the market. I feel like if I was there, I would definitely go for it on the drop, just because.
But for sentimental reasons, not because you think it's valuable.
Exactly. Value aside, I'll just get it because I think that's the cool thing about collecting is that it has a lot of sentimental value. And like when I'm scrolling through my collection, a lot of times I'm just like, oh, I remember when that drop happened and this thing was going on, or oh, that marked a different, or like that marked a new landmark for VeVe with this drop. So if I was there, I would get it. But otherwise, in terms of value, I'm not really going for this one.
Right. My turn?
Yeah. Did you go for the drop?
I did not, but I don't think posters do well
They
on
they
VeVe, so for that reason I wouldn't, and also because I didn't go to New York Comic-Con.
right.
Not saying I necessarily would have if I would have bought it if I did go, but I'd be more inclined to.
Right. And did you? I mean, are you gonna buy it on the market? You think?
No.
And what are your just overall thoughts about this poster? Let's say from an art perspective only, like just if we just look at it.
Well, I think it's cool that it has a lot of characters. You know, there's She-Hulk. She's really popular right now. You see her?
I agree. I do see her talking to Cap.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like if you're into that, then yes, it has its appeal.
Right. I think
and like the scenery is nice too.
Definitely. I was about to say that. Like, it's very vibrant, very colorful. Like you said, a nice collection of characters, and it kind of talks. It kind of shows their personality a little bit in some ways. And so I think it's a cool piece of art. But we will not be buying this, and we didn't go for the drop.
I think if I was like looking at it, I would look at it as like to profit off of it, and I know I wouldn't profit off of buying that, so I would ultimately not buy it.
Exactly. So I think we're ready to move on to the next one, and this was the Daredevil drop. This was one of the most, or I should say, one of the worst performing drops in a while that I can remember, and I don't think it's warranted personally for Daredevil. I think he's getting done dirty by the conditions and just the time frame, but it's a single pose superhero, which a lot of people hate the multiple poses, and I would agree for the most part. I think it's a little bit dumb, but it's not a hill I'm gonna die on. But yeah, single pose, 1500 editions, first appearance. You know how I feel about first appearances on this channel, don't you?
I do.
She does, and even then. So how about for this one? You'll go first. Did you go for the drop?
I did not.
Why not?
And I think I'm more reluctant to buy on drops now just because of how they're doing it. And I think that's why this one's doing so poorly.
Yeah.
Because there's still 4,000 left of the 5,000.
If we go on to the VeVe web app at the time of recording, there are still 4,003 left out of 5,800 total editions. So this is doing terribly.
I think old me, when VeVe wasn't doing as poorly in the market, I would have went for it just because it's a first appearance and it's only 50 gems, so it's not like bad by my standards, but now they all go for less in the market, so I wouldn't do it. If I wanted it, I would just buy in the market.
I definitely agree, and I probably will buy in the market eventually, but it's just not a priority for me. And if I'm going to be buying in the market, there are a lot of things that I would buy before this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks cool though.
It does look cool. I do think it looks cool, and he's I was about to say I think he's a popular character, but actually that's what I wanted to get into next, and that I'm not sure how much weight to give these kinds of rankings or whatever, but it says all U.S. adults surveyed. Favorite Marvel characters. I pulled up 2 sources. I'm not sure if they're actually the same or not. No, they're slightly different. But like Daredevil does not show up on any of these lists at all. So But
yeah, I feel like most people, like even if you're not into Marvel, you know like who Iron Man is or Spider-Man, but that's not the same with Daredevil. So
yeah, you probably have to be a fairly big Marvel fan to know who he is, let alone understand his story and all that stuff. So yeah, maybe one day I'll buy this in the market, but not a priority at all. But first appearances, I do think that in most cases for like Marvel, DC, those types of characters, first appearances in the long run, I think will do well. So yeah. Moving on to the next one, we got our first comic drop of the weekend, and this is Amazing Spider-Man number 42. This dropped this morning at the time of us recording it. Hopefully we can get it out by next morning. I'll see what I can do. But this is the first appearance of Mary Jane Watson, and I did not go for this drop, and you know, it's not because I didn't like it necessarily. It's just because, like you said,
You're
for the last
sleeping?
one, well, I definitely was asleep, but the reason I didn't wake up was because just drops usually don't tend to go for that much. Honestly, if I would have known a little bit more about this one, if I would have been keeping up a little more in the loop, I probably just would have gone for it because it's only 7 gems, so your risk factor on comics is so much lower.
yeah, I like comics more in general, I think. Well, I'm more willing to spend on comics, but I do think that the artwork looks cool. And like because it's Mary Jane, I probably would have went for it because it's a girl, you know. But I think the secret rare cover looks cool.
Yeah, it does. Those all white, like the white backgrounds, I
The
think look
pop
really cool.
color.
It really pops a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also agree about like the comics are pretty cool. Like the art's cool on them, and it's cool that like, it's more than just the cover. Like you can actually open these up and read these as
Right,
actual
right.
comics, which I think is not really like talked about a lot, to be honest. Of like how cool that really is when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're getting like licensed, like replications of like real comics that you can read without needing to actually go and find and buy one.
Right, and there's a lot more artwork like in comics, obviously, than collectible because you just have that one thing or that one animation.
Right, comics have many pages of a whole story and art and all that stuff. So if you go on Go Collect, which is a resource I use when trying to determine the real life value of comics, which more or less tends to coincide with the value of their NFT counterpart, a 9.6 has sold for 3,600, 9.2 1,800. You guys can see the prices right here. I'm not the person to fully understand these numbers or have much of a reference for them. That's why we have tons of great comic book experts in this community. But just, I know this is not the best comparison, but just for a reference for someone like me who doesn't know too much, Amazing Fantasy 15, a 9.6 sells for 3 million, and this one sells for 3,600. So, and like there's other ones, and a 9.2 is in the millions. So
I think I would get it only because it's Mary Jane, and I like when there's women on covers in anything. And so I'd probably get one of the higher rarities for that reason in the market, but not really expected to like. Wouldn't be a purchase for profit for me.
It's one of those ones that you collect because you love it.
Yeah,
And I think it's not like important necessarily, but I do think it is kind of good sometimes to do that. Like, not just be so driven all the time by just like numbers and return on investment. It's fun to have some
Yeah.
fun with the app, and
yeah.
you know, so get what you like sometimes. So yeah, I would, for that reason, I would probably buy in the market. It might even be cheaper in the market. I'm not sure.
Pretty confident it would be.
It likely is. So
Yeah.
I might have to after we're done recording, we might have to pick one up. So
You just want to be like me.
I sure do. So Amazing Spider-Man number 42. Let's see if it was 10,000 editions, so maybe it's not going to go under actually. Normally it's like what, 30,000, I think. So
Yeah,
this is
higher.
this is a limited edition, only 250 secret
Mhm.
rares. So for that reason, it might be a little bit above, but even then,
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
I'd
so
want
sure.
either rare, ultra rare, or secret rare. So
because she's
Yeah.
highlighted on the cover. Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
I have Spider-Man like on other comics, so I don't
Yeah,
necessarily
it's
need
not
this one.
not
to,
as special.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is highlighting Mary Jane Watson, so
Exactly.
it would be cool to have
So highlight
those
her.
versions. That's right.
Right.
All right, so it came out in 1966, by the way, so that's just kind of cool, a little old one. But next up, we have the scepter, often referred to as Loki's scepter. So, will you be going for this drop?
I won't, but I don't think that like me not getting it doesn't mean that it'll be worth something eventually. I just think in this current moment, it probably won't sell for that much.
Right. I'm torn between going for the drop and going in the market. And normally, if this was just a scepter on its own, I wouldn't be doing either. But there is something that our friend Wes on Twitter pointed out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like Marvel is already selling these versions of drops that we've gotten on VeVe, and obviously the scepter is coming out tomorrow. we've gotten these exact versions, like literally exact, and they're also dropping these as physical toys or collectibles, it looks like. And as you guys can see, the Tesseract and the Eye of Agamotto, sorry if I said that wrong, those have already dropped on VeVe. This comes out tomorrow, then these two are yet to be seen. But as you can probably see, the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet is what it all culminates to, and these all have Infinity Stones in them. So,
I think, like, if this, that's what I was saying earlier, like, I think there's potential for it to be profitable or, like, just worth a lot in general, or, like, appeal to holding it, because if you do get all the Infinity Stones, you know, like, if it's like an airdrop or something, like, that would be cool.
I was about to say, I do think there'd be some kind of airdrop, or if you hold the stones, you get the gauntlet or something along those lines. So I'm gonna eventually make a point to collect all these. Again, I'm torn on if I want to do it now or wait, because everything tends to drop, and I don't want to FOMO, you know.
Well, you don't know if the prices are going to go up right now or if that's going to be later, you know, when it's like on the last collectible. It's like, oh, now we want all of them because there's a potential for an airdrop, you know?
Exactly.
That's when it tends to go up.
Exactly. So.
But on its own, I don't like feel compelled to buy it.
Exactly.
As of right now.
Exactly. So let's move on to the last drop, actually, and that is Mysterio. We have rare and ultra rare, so this is not a single pose, but it is a first appearance. And before we talk about it, I would like to show off how it looks in AR, which I think is one of the coolest looking AR collectibles that we've had so far. Do you agree?
Yeah, I like the movement in a lot of places.
Right, like the smoke around him, the movement in the head. I'm sure some Marvel fans are gonna hate me right now because I don't I don't know.
That's why I kept my mouth shut.
Because I don't know crap about what this stuff is called. I have seen the movie that he was in, the SpiderMan one.
You get some brownie points for that.
I do get some brownie. I mean, I hope so. Just a tiny bit. It's better than nothing.
Right.
But just looks alone, I think this looks sick. And I can only imagine the cool things that this could do in AR. And, you know, people like Metaverse Life making those cool videos, they could maybe do something cool.
Or just like talking about like VeVe in games more recently. I think that would be cool.
Definitely.
You know? Definitely
cool. And yeah, they really popped off on this collectible, I would say. The design team really did their thing. They had some fun, apparently.
Is this a blind box, or you go for...
Pretty sure it's blind box. It is blind box. So 50 gems. The rare is 3,000 editions. And the ultra rare that is animated has 2,000 editions.
I always want to believe that I would get the ultra rare, but then I don't always do that. I mean, I rarely do that. So...
I've actually... I will acknowledge I've had pretty good luck. So... that's maybe why I'm more inclined to go for this one.
50 is not bad.
It's not, and the editions are low if you think about it.
Yeah, I just I think my idea of drops is like tainted by like what's going on recently. So do I want to lose 30 gems?
Right.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Because they are discounted for sure on the market.
Discounted.
Not a fan.
No.
If I'm buying it, yes, but if I got on the drop and then it's going on sale for 20. Hurts a little bit.
Do you think that con exclusives, by the virtue of them being con exclusives, will have value in the future?
Maybe. I feel like Comic-Con's a really big, deal for a lot of people. And so being like, oh, and what is it, 2022? Comic-Con? Maybe. Collectors like that. I feel like that's... The Decon drops last year did better than I was expecting them to.
They did.
And so I think if Decon can do that, then Comic-Con for sure has the potential to have appeal just for being Comic-Con drops.
Good point, yeah. I agree that I think, especially as more and more of them add up, and say we're on like our 20th VeVe Comic-Con, people are going to start looking to the first.
Yeah. Well, like the people who go to Comic-Con are very dedicated, you know what I mean? So I feel like you're already selling to a crowd that is interested in this kind of stuff. So your odds are higher. And then the more I think NFTs are like actually have like a better, rep than they do currently, they might feel like inclined to go back and buy it. So maybe not now, but maybe in the future it'll be worth something, and being a Comic-Con drop will be worth something to people.
Right, I agree. And at the beginning, for the first ever Comic-Con drop, I believe that was the Cthulhu Idols, and I think I actually ended up selling them.
You did.
I think I kept the book though. But I was holding them for longer than I probably should have because they were the first ever con exclusive to come out on VeVe. And maybe one day I'll go back and get it because, like, those things, I do think they will be valuable or they'll be kind of cool to have. But, like, I think the time frame that we have to buy them while they're cheap is so much longer than I originally thought. Like, especially sooner.
Yeah, I think
sooner
we have
on.
a lot of time from now until like it's like unattainable as far as like how expensive they are. But I do think that in the future there's a lot of things on the app that people that don't know VeVe currently will want to get. And not even just because they know VeVe, but because they want to collect. And then they have to do that through VeVe, you know?
Right. That is a good point about VeVe, is that it's kind of, since they have everything in one place, it kind of forces you to run through them. Then I think that's where I'm kind of getting off track here a little bit, but I think that's where like the Master Collector program and things will be really fun and really bring a lot of traffic to the app, because people will start off just wanting one thing, say, but then they're like, oh, I can earn points and get this too, and then they start just like collecting, like, oh, like what's cheap I can get? Oh, it's only $5, I'll collect that and earn some points, and then like next thing you know,
Becomes like an addiction.
yeah.
Yeah. I started doing VeVe just because I wanted to help you, and then it became like, oh, I like partly I just want to like be lucky and get the drop and feel like satisfied in that, but also like it's nice to have and like be able to like put it in AR and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. I totally agree. And yeah, I would never have considered myself a collector before VeVe in any, like, I don't think I collected anything.
Yeah, but I don't think people have to like VeVe or NFTs necessarily to like come to VeVe, you know? Like just collecting, you go out of your way to get stuff. Like you contact a bunch of sellers and you're like on the hunt for this specific thing for a long time for whatever reason. So I think that will pull people to VeVe, and then these things that maybe aren't being sold right now are going to be worth more.
I totally agree. So that will conclude all the drops for these for this New York Comic-Con 2022. Wish I was there. Looks like a lot of fun. Dan and David and the team is there, and I'm jealous of everyone who gets to meet them. But both of us will be in Anaheim DCon. So I'm really looking forward to that, and that's the next convention that we'll be able to attend and meet the team and everyone like that. So any last words that you want to say about these con exclusives?
Thank you for coming on my YouTube channel. I know that you are really busy, but you know, I've been putting out videos for a long time, so I wanted to let him come on here. So thank you for coming to my channel and being the boyfriend to NFT Funny.
So that will conclude our video. Let us know what you think of this format, if we should do it for more drops. I had a lot of fun personally, and it's fun having it. Normally my videos are a lot more rigid and planned.
Normally my videos are a lot better, but
that does not mean better. I just mean like multiple takes. I have a whole
script. A hard time, but actually it's my channel, so yeah. Normally my videos
are more rigid.
I do a whole script. I do my research, you know.
So we'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys soon. So peace out. And that's it.